I found myself about 18 months ago being outraged over the fact that this country is bankrupt. The fact that 43 cents out of every dollar that we're spending is borrowed. I think that we're on the verge of an imminent financial collapse. We talk about the Federal Reserve, the fact that the Federal Reserve is buying up our treasuries. They're buying up long-term bonds. You said it, imagine Bernie Madoff if he'd have been able to print money to cover his Ponzi scheme. This is a Ponzi scheme. So we need to reduce spending in this country dramatically. How much? Well, 43%. That's if we're just going to balance revenues with expenditures. And do you realize right now that the interest on the debt is our 5th largest expenditure at $250 billion right now, today? But if interest rates go back to just historical norms, the interest rate on the debt alone will be just less than what we're currently spending on defense, about $750 billion. That's if interest rates just go back to historical norm. And what is to suggest that it's going to go back to historical norm, but that it's going to go a little bit higher? And if it goes a little bit higher, then it's $1 trillion. It's the largest budget item that we will have, which will be interest on the debt. I think that's when we really, even with the Ponzi scheme, even with printed money, that's the point of implosion. That's the point where our dollars really aren't worth anything anymore. So I think, on the optimistic side, I think that this thing can be fixed. I think that the government can do a few things to provide certainty. One would be to embark on really cutting spending. And that would mean Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. That's serious reform in all those areas, and we can talk about that if you like, what that would entail. I mean, I think there's some obvious suggestions in all these categories. But we've got to embark on that. We've got to embark on that now. These were political promises that should have never been made. Over the decades, I saw these as political promises that should have never been made. I saw them as Ponzi schemes. How can this be sustained? Well, it's here and it's now, and there's no more kicking the can down the road. And if you look at the fourth, if you look at the big expenditures also, defense is in there also. I believe in a strong national defense. I believe that we should provide ourselves with a strong national defense. That's part of the Constitution. But providing us a defense and providing the rest of the world with a defense is a whole nother topic. The fact that we're nation building... The fact that we're nation building worldwide as opposed to our own nation that needs building, I'm a little slain by this. And we're borrowing 43 cents out of every dollar to do this. I was opposed to us going into Iraq from the very beginning. I said, look, do we really need to do this? Don't we have the military surveillance capability to see Iraq roll out any weapons of mass destruction? And if that happens, we could go in and militarily, surgically address that situation. I thought if we went into Iraq, we would find ourselves in a civil war to which there would be no end. And Afghanistan, I have to tell you, I thought that originally that was completely warranted. That was a strike against Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda, but they're not there anymore, and we're entering into our 10th year of engagement in Afghanistan. We're building roads, schools, bridges, highways, and hospitals in Iraq and Afghanistan. And we're borrowing 43 cents out of every dollar, and men and servicewomen are losing their lives. We are spending more as a nation on defense spending than all the other countries in the world combined, and we're 5% of the world's population. This is not reality. The new world reality needs to reflect the fact that we can no longer be the world's policeman. We can't afford it. We're bankrupt. We can't do it. Issues of the day, talking about free markets, believing in free markets, believing in educational entrepreneurs. When this whole healthcare debate started, I gotta tell you, I had envisioned healthcare entrepreneurs unleashed on the healthcare system to bring about better products, better services at lower prices. the government eliminating impediments, blowing the lid off of supply. We got anything but that, though. There's no advertised pricing in healthcare. And if I could just offer some examples that under a healthcare system where healthcare entrepreneurs were unleashed to do their thing, I had envisioned Gallbladders Are Us. I'd envision clinics specializing in gallbladder surgery at thousands of dollars as opposed to tens of thousands of dollars. Now everybody here might have to get on an airplane, or everybody in the country would have to come to Baltimore to get gallbladder surgery, but because some gallbladder surgeon entrepreneurs got together and created the clinic here, they were able to offer the surgery at thousands of dollars as opposed to tens of thousands of dollars. We're getting on airplanes right now to go to India to have heart surgery at tens of thousands of dollars as opposed to hundreds of thousands of dollars. I had stitches in Taos a couple of winters ago. I cut my forehead. It was about 5 stitches. It took the doctor about 10 minutes, and the bill was $750. Now that's the bill for stitches, but there's no advertised pricing, so it wasn't like I could shop this. And under a system where I could shop it, I would have envisioned physician's assistants that would have been able to do the same thing without a doctor's supervision, that would have maybe opened up a stitch clinic in Albuquerque and done that procedure for it did take 10 minutes, done that procedure for $75 as opposed to $750. I'd have put a Band-Aid over it, I'd have gotten in my car and I'd have driven down to Albuquerque to have that. But of course you're all thinking, well, no, you wouldn't have done that because we have health insurance. Health insurance in a free market. Why would you have health insurance? In a free market, I would have health insurance for catastrophic injury or illness. The rest of it, I would pay as you go. I think that health insurance is analogous to grocery insurance.